Another reason that we want to plant a church here in Auburn, honestly, is for us. And when I say us, I mean me and Ginger. We believe in the idea of community, like you've heard several times already. And let's face it, Ginger and I are in another season of life than what we were when we first got married or when we were students. And the church will allow us personally to integrate our relationships into the community of faith instead of exclusively having to go outside of the community to find people that are in our season of life. And so it is a way to integrate. And then finally, we feel like the Lord has led us to do this. You know, we think that the Holy Spirit has said do it. In fact, all summer long, you know, it seems like we have come up against some roadblocks, or I guess speed bumps might be a better way to say it. But we just hear the Lord saying, go for it. And even before, while Katie was singing up here, I just closed my eyes and I was just thinking about the Lord. And I just felt like, there's just a big smile on the Lord's face saying, hey, he's about to go talk about it. He's about to go tell them, you know. And so we really feel like that it's need alone is not reason enough for us to give our lives for something. But if there's need plus the Lord's call, then that's a good pair there. So Auburn Chi Alpha will continue to be affiliated with Chi Alpha nationally. And we will use the name Chi Alpha for student events. Ginger and I will continue our status as U.S. missionaries with the Assemblies of God and its subsidiary Chi Alpha nationally, Chi Alpha USA. The vision is the same, honestly, guys. It's what we've always been trying to do on campus, is to reach the university. And by reaching the university, we can change the marketplace and the world. The vision's the same. The method is not. It's new. So, what's this change going to look like? In the fall, everything that we now do as Chi Alpha will come under the covering of Campus Church. Chi Alpha will denote the things that are exclusively for students. And I've divided this into 3 different categories just to help you wrap your brain around what it looks like. First is our corporate structure, corporately speaking of our large gathering when we all come together, because we have so many things that involve smaller subgroups. Our weekly worship gathering will now be a Sunday service that will start at 5 p.m. on Sundays. We are still in a university town, and so our Sunday service will be on Sunday evening. And this means that the front door, which has met on Thursdays for the last several years, it will now give way to our Sunday service. And so the front door is no more. House church, as we've been having it, it will no longer be at 2 p.m. at our house, but instead that will give way to the Sunday service that will be at 5 p.m. And so basically saying both of those, no matter which one you're involved with, and maybe some of you are definitely in both of them, both of those we will have a corporate worship service that is more like the front door on Sunday p.m. So the next category would be our community and how we will continue to keep, there's benefits to us all coming together at the same time, but there's also benefits to us breaking down into smaller groups so that we can get to know one another. And so on the community side of it, what we'll have is we will actually have house churches on Thursday nights. And those will be at 7 p.m. Right now it's looking like there will be 2 house churches, both of those meeting on Thursdays. And those are a co-ed group, which will be much like house churches now. Food, a lot of relational hanging out time, discussion oriented, and then also time to minister to each other when it's needed and so forth. Also under our community, we basically have 3 categories of small groups. There's the house churches, and then there's our cell groups, which we've had for a long time now. We may name them something different, but a cell group is something that is gender specific because, again, these are meeting needs. There are great things about having a co-ed group in a home, sharing a meal, hanging out, but there's also benefits to being only guys or only girls. So you can talk about guy things or talk about girl things. And so it helps you process on a different level, and it helps you bond, get connected at a different level too. And so there will be cell groups. These are same gender. There may even be a couple freshman cell groups that are geared for freshmen only. A third category of small groups are interest-based groups. And these are things that are neither a house church or a cell group, but they are something that's more isolated or more gathered around an interest, like intramural sports, or like we had a painting cell group that would go under this category last year. Or maybe at some point there would be a 4-week Bible study on, something like that. These are interest-based groups, and these will be on Mondays through Wednesdays. So, and then finally, the third category of things would be our mission category, and this is the outward function of Chi Alpha and some mission/event. First under that are things like community service, and that's where we, once a month we go out and minister somewhere in the community, serving the community. Our International Student Friendship Ministry, our conversation partners will be under this. We'll continue to do this. Our CMIT program, that stands for Campus Missionary and Training. Auburn is one of the around 16 or 17 places in the country where people can come to be trained to be a campus missionary. Also under this is our conferences, and that would be like SALT, Spring Retreat. Obviously, those are for students only. Down the road, we're hoping to do some local conferences here, where actually we would bring in and maybe even say, hey, alumni, we're having this conference on this date, and bringing in a speaker. And it's really cool because in the last year, we've really made some relationships with worship leaders and speakers and stuff like that. And so we could do some things here to serve our local community and alumni. Under here also just outreaches that we're doing, different kind, fall kickoff stuff, all those kind of things, music events, mission trips, and so forth. So that is pretty much what the change will look like. And if I can be honest with you, in the beginning, the change will not look that different in terms of the people in the community. What we're doing, it's like we're upgrading our operating system. It's like we've been running Windows XP or something like that, or you could say we've been running Windows Vista and we have it maxed out and we're deciding to switch to Mac. And we don't have much software in our, Leopard, or which was the newest, Tiger? Leopard. We don't have much software or this, but the operating system change will allow us to add new things and do new things. Or you could say it this way, if you need the Bible, is we are adopting a new wineskin that will enable us. It's a new skeleton that will allow us to hold more things and spread our arms out wider. So the first step for the campus church will be introducing ourselves to the 5,000 new students arriving on August 18th. Can you believe that 5,000 new people are going to be joining our city and church? Yeah, wow. We need a new operating system. On August 18th. That's incredible when you think about that. That's 5,000 people that don't have a church. A lot of them have no faith. And you know what else they don't have? Is they don't have friends, many of them. And so this is a great opportunity. And so this is how the church will make its debut, is that we will blitz the campus and try to introduce ourselves to the campus. That's the way we'll do. We want them to know that we exist. And so we're going to work hard. So initially we're not going to launch to We're not going to try to launch to the state of Alabama, but we're going to keep it more specific and launch to the campus, particularly